What the hell, Nvidia? Are you kidding me? All these other YouTubers out there getting 5090s for free, benchmarking them, showing off the performance, showing off the absolute perfection of these coolers, while I'm sitting over here twiddling my thumbs with no content. It's been dry as a bone over here 2 weeks. I have not uploaded. I have been in depression since the 5090 released. I didn't get anything. Who really thought I would? But Nvidia did not send me anything for the 5090 launch or the 5080 launch that's upcoming, by the way. So we're just gonna talk about all my thoughts for the 5090. I mean, guys, I shilled for you, Nvidia. I shilled for you. 5090 is a bargain. You should be buying a 5090. It's a steal. Well, maybe my thoughts have changed a little bit since Nvidia didn't buy into my shillery. But let's just talk about today why you don't need a 5090, why you don't need a 5080, and actually you don't need anything from the 50 series to get some seriously good gaming in for the next couple years on PC gaming. So guys, let's talk about it. So where have I been for the last couple weeks? I haven't uploaded. I have been addicted, straight up like a fiend, like a goon. I've been addicted to this little game called Enter the Gungeon. I love that intro. That music is awesome. Not only does this game have banger music like that, but it's addicting as all get out. And take a look at it. It's pixel graphics, guys, but I put in 60 hours in this game in the past 2 weeks on Steam, so I am not playing around. I basically dropped YouTube once I picked this game up, and I'm sorry, but I'm back now, and playing this game made me think, I have a 4080 in my system, but this is using like 0.1% of its power to play this game. I mean, look at the system requirements for this game. It's a Core 2 Duo. That's a CPU from like 20 years ago that has 2 physical cores and a GeForce 7600 GS. That's a GPU from 2006 and only has like 512 megabytes of VRAM. Wow. And I dumped so many hours into this game. You do not need a baller PC to run this game. Actually, I have played a lot of this game on my MacBook while I was traveling back and forth these last couple weeks. There was a lot of things I had to go do in various cities. So I was traveling in the car ride, I was playing Enter the Gungeon. And guys, all I want to talk about today is, sure, the 5090 looks cool. It's 30% faster on average, which is a little bit lower than I think everyone thought it was going to be. But obviously, I think it's hamstrung by the CPU in many of these titles, and it's probably closer to 40% faster. You can actually see that in many cases where it's actually 40% faster, but almost all the time we're limited by CPU with the 5090, even at 4K, which is kind of crazy to think. But getting back on track, guys, you don't need a 50 series GPU. Let me explain. I've been playing Enter the Gungeon, look at this game, and it's crazy. I mean, game devs just need to get more creative with how they design games. They just need to make games fun again. Make games fun again, okay? This game has so much creativity. There's tons of references to various other video games. Like there's Mario references, like there's like a star that makes you invincible. There's all kinds of like Metal Gear Solid references. There is a item called the Super Hot Watch where time only moves as you do, like in the game Super Hot. And anytime I stop moving, all the bullets around me stop moving. Kind of crazy stuff like that. And everything in this game has just so much thought into it. Even though it looks like some little kid pixel game at first, you get into it and it's tough. You're in the thick of it after you start bulleting. It's a bullet hell game where you have to dodge all these kind of bullets, roll through them, shoot enemies, and melt bosses with amazing power-ups that you find along the way. And it's a roguelike, so every time you play it and you die, you're back to square one, but you have unlocked a little bit more weapons you can find along the way on your next run. So guys, I just wanted to talk about what infatuated me with Enter the Gungeon and why it actually is so easy to run. It doesn't even matter what PC I had. It ran on my MacBook just fine. I actually beat the in-game boss on my MacBook with a touchpad for the very first time. And I gotta say, I had a lot of fun playing this game, and it just made me think, like, I don't need the best system to play my favorite games. A lot of my favorite games are from multiple years ago, and they run just fine on most hardware. I think people are just getting into the thick of it with all these benchmarks, and they're thinking, oh my gosh, the 5090 only runs 30 FPS path traced in Cyberpunk, when really, like, Cyberpunk's a good game, don't get me wrong, but I haven't played it in a little bit just because it's so long and it's tedious to get things done. Like, I just want to shoot people. I don't want to have to talk to people every 5 minutes and watch a cutscene. I just like gameplay. And a lot of these older games, I mean, Enter the Gungeon was made in 2016, but they just have so much heart and soul in them that you can't put them down. Like, I would wake up on my day off and play Enter the Gungeon for like 7 hours straight. And a game hasn't done that to me in a very long time, guys. I gotta say, like, I was infatuated with this game. It's kind of triggers the part of your brain that is involved in gambling, because you get like random loot drops and stuff. But a lot of people rate this Enter the Gungeon the #1 roguelike ever. And I gotta agree. I mean, I haven't played a ton of roguelikes, but I have played a few, and I gotta say it's by far the best one I've ever played. Why are people up in arms about the 5090? I mean, I get it. It costs $2,000. I looked at AIB models here. I know the Asus one costs $2,800. The 5090 is gonna cost a lot of money. It is gonna sell out. People will buy this thing in droves for AI workloads. And for $2,000, I remain by my statement, even though Nvidia screwed me over and didn't send me one to test for you guys. 5090 at $2,000 is a bargain. For those people that need to make money using their PC, that use it for AI hardware, 5090 at $2,000, 32 gigs of VRAM, for those people that need that, it's a really good deal. And you know, AIB's coming out with like Asus with a $2,800 version of it. I mean, that is really expensive, but for those people, they would still buy it for that. For gamers, that is an absolute ripoff. That's almost 50% more for like no performance upgrade over the Founders Edition. So obviously the Asus model is not worth it. And I see other models here. The gaming trios at like $2,350, Supreme Liquids at $2,500. The Supreme SoC is at $2,400. That was the one I would want. I would want the MSI Supreme. That one always just looks so cool. Or the Vanguard. What's the Vanguard at? Yeah, it's around $2,380. If I were you guys, I'd either get the Supreme for $2,400 or the Vanguard for $2,380 for Founders, for AIB graphics cards for the 5090. 5090s are even gonna get scalped by the AIBs. We're looking at around 25-30% boost in price at the bare minimum compared to MSRP, all the way up to like close to 50, it's like 40%. So anywhere from like 20 to 40% markup over already that extreme $2,000 MSRP for AIBs. But I gotta say, I looked at a couple of videos of these AIBs and the cards look really, really nice. Like the Asus one, the Strix, I like how it has that extra fan. It looks like it performs really well, like actually much better in cooling than the Founders Edition. But at the end of the day, it's only gonna give you a max of like 5-10% more performance, which you could probably get out of the Founders Edition if you tuned it well enough. So as far as like AIBs go, they necessarily aren't worth the extra money, but you'll probably end up having to pay them because the Founders Edition is gonna be near non-existent to even get. But also like, for whatever reason, AIBs are charging way more for the 5080. I saw somewhere that a leak came out where the MSRP of the 5080 and the 5090 is basically charity, like AIBs would make zero margin at those prices. But I'm looking here, I mean, the Tough Gaming OC, which isn't even like the highest end model, Tough is like mid-range, is $1,700 for a 5080. Guys, the 5080 might be the most disappointing graphics card we've had in a very long time. It looks like it's only 10% faster than the 4080 Super while being the same price. But I mean, guys, that's horrible. It's a next generation thing. The 4080, sure, it was way more expensive, but at least it was 50% faster and had way more VRAM. And then the cheapest model I see here is the Ventus, which is like a very low end model. It's the MSI Ventus, which is $1,140. So $140 markup over the 5080 base MSRP. Honestly, guys, I'd probably rather just get the base Founders Edition 5080 because it uses a lot less power, and that Founders Edition cooler will probably cool it just fine compared to the 5090, and it's probably gonna look the best. So as far as like AIBs go, for 5090, I'd go with the MSI Supreme or the Vanguard. And then for the 5080, definitely try to get a Founders Edition. If not, just get that MSI Ventus model. And you'll probably be fine. It's only $140 markup for the Ventus model. Not a horrible markup for MSI there on the Ventus, but I mean, you know, it's still like 14%. That's not ideal. And after tax, you're probably gonna be looking at around $1,200, probably even $1,300 for a 5080. So right back where we started here, 5080 is looking like a pretty bad GPU for the price. 5090, obviously for the people that need it, it's a godsend. For everyone else, it's a horrible deal. Why do you guys even want to buy 5090 so bad? I mean, I get it, guys. I get that we love hardware. I get we like seeing bigger number better, but take a back seat right quick. Sit back and look at what games you're playing. Look at the FPS you're getting. I mean, it looks like the 5090 is bottlenecked at all resolutions, even at 4K in pretty much every scenario, like maybe except for path tracing. What do you have that can even fully utilize a 5090, and will it really enrich your experience that much? You know, guys, if you have a 4090, I mean a 5090, you probably won't even notice the difference. You really might not even notice at all. And that's just gonna be weird. That's gonna be very weird, especially if you're a gamer. If you're like me and you like to have this high-end hardware, but often the games you play don't even come close to fully utilizing it. I mean, look at Enter the Gungeon, little pixelated graphics. Guys, give this game a shot. It's awesome. Once you play this, you might just downgrade your PC and realize that it's not about the graphics. It's not about how many characters you can fit on the screen or how far you can push your hardware in a game. It's about the gameplay, and it's about how fun it is to the user. I'm tired of all these games throwing in all these cutscenes, throwing in all this dialogue just to like ruin the actual gaming experience. I logged on to a video game, not a movie. I don't want to hear all this garbage. I just want to click some heads and have some fun. You know, that's my thoughts. Also, in between, you know, uploading, Doom: The Dark Ages was announced, and I am a Doom fanatic, guys. I've loved all the Doom games that have come out in the last, you know, couple years, like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. I've also played some of the OG Dooms as well. And I gotta say, this Doom does not, I'm very cautious about this next Doom. It does not look like something that meets my standards for like Doom Eternal. I don't think it's gonna reach the heights of Doom Eternal levels of just enjoyability and sheer thrill. And just from like looking at it, like they said it's gonna be like open world style, like not necessarily open world, but open mission design where you can go do what you want. And that is a huge red flag for me. Doom should be very linear, arena-based shooter. That's what Doom is. Like, I don't like the idea of running around. And also it looks like the gameplay looks way slower. I know he's like a tankier thing now, but I enjoyed the fast-paced combat of Doom before, and now this looks like we're taking a back step. So also they said there's going to be a huge focus on cutscenes for telling the story, which also I'm not really looking forward to that. I always just enjoyed, like in BioShock, like in Prey, and like actually in the first Doom 2016, when you just pick up little pieces of lore and then it would play like a little sound, like of someone talking, like in your bottom left screen or somewhere, and you could just go around clicking heads, go around finding loot while they tell you the story, while someone talks in your ear. I think that's the best form of storytelling, really. You uncover the mystery for yourself, you listen to people talk, but you don't have to sit there and disengage from your gameplay, right? That's what I like. So Doom: The Dark Ages, I'm kind of cautious about this game. I'm gonna play it definitely day one when it comes to Xbox Game Pass. I'll just get it off PC Game Pass. But yeah, Doom: Dark Ages, it may be going in the wrong direction. This is not, me personally, I don't want more cutscenes. I don't want more dialogue. I want more fun, creative gameplay mechanics like Enter the Gungeon and like Doom Eternal did. Doom Eternal blew my mind. So guys, what do you think? Am I being unreasonable with some of the things I'm saying? Like, I think don't buy a 50 series card. I have a 4080 GPU. I have a 4080 graphics card. And after playing Enter the Gungeon for a little bit, I was like, and seeing the performance of the 5090 and, you know, calculating and being like, wow, the 5080 is only gonna be 10% faster at best. I took my 4080 apart because it was overheating a little bit on the hotspot. It was getting above 100 Celsius on that hotspot while maintaining like 80 on the core. And I was like, okay, it's time to repaste this thing. Not only repaste, but I'm gonna put on a thermal pad, the PTM 7950 from Thermo Fisher or whatever they're called. So I bought one of those bad boys and popped it on my 4080, and I saw great gains in my temperature, decreased it by like a lot. I think I'm gonna make a video about it, so let me know if you're interested in the PTM 7950. I ended up putting it on my CPU too. But yeah, I put it on my graphics card and I burnt it in, and actually allows me to get like 200 more clock speed on my 4080. So now I get above 2.9 gigahertz, which before I was sitting at 2.7. Before I didn't have enough thermal headroom to even reach higher than that. So it lowered my temps by a lot. It was actually a very good play. And I just thought, you know, I'm gonna hold on to this 4080 for a while, unless one of you guys gives me a graphics card or Nvidia sends me a GPU. If somebody gives me a graphics card, I'll definitely switch out my 4080. But as far as me buying something and trying to upgrade, I don't see anything replacing my 4080 anytime soon. DLSS is getting better and better, and a lot of that is coming to 40 series. As far as I understand it, the only thing not coming to 40 series is the multi-frame generation, which I am totally fine to live my life without. Regular frame gen is fine for me. And guys, like some of the things they're saying, like I'm not gonna have to upgrade for a while. DLSS 4, like the new model, I forgot what it was, like the CNN, is that the new or old one? I can't remember. That new model at performance looks much clearer than DLSS now, like DLSS 3.5 or whatever we're on, at quality. Okay, let me say that again. The new DLSS 4 model looks better at performance at 4K than the old model at quality at 4K. Like, and it's noticeable. I saw this on the Reddit, I'm like, dang. And that's coming to 40 series. Like, I'm gonna be able to play at performance and look better than I did at quality. So essentially that's like another 30% upgrade for my 4080. Essentially making it like a 4090 performance level with DLSS. Get mad at me if you want in the comment section down below saying DLSS, but that's just upscaling, that's not frame generation. So essentially it is lowering my latency. So it is performance booster when you use DLSS if you don't include frame generation in that. So guys, I'm just thinking here, I'm like, I'm playing these games I love, they don't even stress my system out. DLSS is getting better and better. And the 5080 is a skip. Like with my overclock now, I'm probably matching a 5080 at stock. So I don't know what to say, guys. It doesn't look like I'm gonna need to upgrade anytime soon. These older games look fine. I'm totally secure in my PC at the moment. I'm so totally secure in my setup. What do you guys think? Are you rocking a 4090 till it blows out, like blows it back, blows the back out? Something I was gonna say, and I've been making a video on this, is I don't think AMD's graphics cards are gonna age very well. The chiplet-based architecture, I think they're gonna drop support for them early. I pointed back to Vega, how they dropped support for that pretty early. But Nvidia is actually dropping support, at least partial support, for 10,000 series. So if you have a 1080 Ti and you've been rocking that a long time, you're gonna have to look at upgrading, and maybe 50 series is for you. But for us people on 40 series, maybe even 30 series, 50 series isn't looking like too tempting, at least to me. It's not looking too tempting. 5090 sure is exciting with a 512-bit bus and all that. Everything else, like, I'm totally fine on my 4080. DLSS getting better, I love it. Me putting on a new thermal pad and unlocking more performance like that, I love it, guys. So what do you think? Is your system good enough for now? Are you gonna blow its back out after years of gaming and just turning up the settings? Or are you eager to upgrade? Are you gonna throw your 4090 in the trash? Well, hey, maybe throw it my way. After you get a 5090, well, let me know in the comment section down below. This was just my thoughts. I think these older games, not necessarily even older games, there could be some newer games that are just easier to run. Some of these indie games are pretty fire and they blow the new AAA games out of the water. For me, it was Enter the Gungeon. Maybe for you, it's some other game. The next game I'm gonna try is Outer Wilds. I've heard a lot of good things about this game. People say it's a masterpiece, so I'm gonna give that a go. If you've tried it, let me know in the comment section and maybe give me like a pointer that's not like spoilers or something. But yeah, so these are just my thoughts, guys. What do you think? Also, if you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed talking to me in the comment section, drop me a super chat, donate to the channel a little bit, and I'll pin your comment to the top of the video. That's just a way to help me receive a little bit more compensation for my time and effort on these videos. I actually received my first check from YouTube like last week, and it was kind of surreal. I'm like, wow, I'm getting paid for this. So it's slowly but surely working, guys. If you want me to make a video about that first check, let's get this video to 250 likes and I will make a video about my first check on YouTube. So yeah, that's all my thoughts, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Silicon State, signing
The
out.
master of tech, ever review, every spec he's on deck. From GPUs to CPUs, he knows it all. No question too big, no detail too small. He's got the knowledge, he's got the skill. When he drops his take, the haters stand still. Fanboys can cry, but they can't deny. Silicon State's truth